Yo, what's up, everybody? It's me, Tim Keys, and I'm back with a new video, not a shorts. And yeah, for those of you who have been waiting on some new content, I apologize. Been having to take care of some real life personal stuff, and real life takes higher precedence over the internet. But today I wanted to talk about the new Jura plugin from Air Music Technology. For those of you who are using the MPC units, you know that this is an option that you can purchase, or if you cop the new MPC 1 Plus, you can get this as part of that sound set. But I also wanted to take the time to take this plugin and compare it with Arturia's June 6. Both of these plugins seek to emulate the Roland Juno 6 or 106. Can't remember which one, don't chop my head off. But it seeks to emulate the Roland Juno 6. And yeah, man, I don't have a real Roland Juno 6, and the last time I played one was back in 2018. So I couldn't tell you how accurate either of these compares to the actual hardware unit. However, that's neither here nor there. I'm going to go over some of the features between these two plugins and do a light comparison and talk about, which one is for which, and, we'll go into the sounds and all that stuff. So, opening this up now, if you notice, I got both of these plugins running in Reason, and that's the cool thing that I appreciate about Air Music's plugin. You can buy this for 79 bucks right now. It's on sale at the time of this recording. And yeah, you can put this in your MPC and use it standalone, but you can also download it as part of, just a VST3. And so it could be in the software, or it could just be in a plugin. As you can see, again, I'm just using this with Reason. So shout out to them, Air Music Technology, for making this plugin incredibly flexible. Going over some of the basics, you got your scale, which allows you to adjust the size accordingly. I'm not going to make this too much bigger. It'll go over some of the specs right here, all that good jazz. You can check for updates, all that stuff. You can access the manual. If you go over to this side right here, you can adjust the settings, and this is where it gets interesting, because you can adjust the layout to make it more vintage, minimized, or you can make it more modern and expand the virtual unit. You can also change the DCO noise and make it modern or vintage. Likewise, the chorus noise, you can add that to the unit if you want to. So, those subtle, features, add a little bit extra to the unit. Now, the layout is fairly straightforward. If you ever played a Juno, you could tell that it's a fairly straightforward machine. It sounds great, but it's a straightforward machine. You got your digital controlled oscillator with your waveforms that you can pick. You got the combination of the square wave that you can do pulse width modulation on. Once you activate it, you also have your sawtooth wave, and then you have your sub oscillator, which in this case is a square wave that you can adjust the levels. You can also adjust the levels on your noise. You turn on the LFO and adjust those settings here. What does what to what, manual, envelope, so we'll leave that alone. You have your high pass filter. You can set the cutoff. You have your voltage control filter. Again, you can adjust the cutoff, the saturation, the drive. You can invert the filters in terms of how they interact with the frequencies, blah, 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 blah. All that good stuff. You have your VCA. You change the velocity. Again, you can set that VCA to interact with envelope 1, 2, or the gate. Then you have envelope 1 and you have envelope 2. Again, this is how you adjust your sounds, make your pads, make your plucks, all that stuff. So everything is here for those of you who want to have like a legitimate, if you will, synthesizer, virtual of course, in your plugin, and you can just begin building sounds out of this machine right out the gate. You have your LFO with all of the different waveforms and modes. You have your chorus 1, chorus 2, or you can turn it off or have both of them running. You have your delay, reverb, your EQ, And again, you can adjust all of that stuff accordingly. You can adjust that analog drift and the volume, blah, 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 blah. Yep, of course, right? All the boring stuff, your mod frequency, your pitch bend. Yep, so as I hit that mod wheel, it's changing some of the stuff. LFO specifically. You can turn that on, trigger it. Again, you can adjust these things right here to have those be controlled by the mod wheel. Again, you have your pitch bend. You have your polyphony. You can adjust it from your standard all the way up to 6, 7 voices. Not bad, not super duper great, but not bad for what it is. So you can do your chords and all that stuff. Then you have your unison chord mode. You can do some detuning. You can adjust the glide time for your portamento, legato, all that stuff. If you want to try to do some sawtooth style 808s, you can do that using this and do that portamento glide. You have your arpeggiator, and then you have your standard options as played, up, down, repeat, random, all that good stuff. You got your ranges, your speed, your gate. You can adjust the volume here. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. And then you got your analog drift. So now I'm going to go into the presets. You know, we'll do some art polys. So yeah, like, it's a nice little art. Let's do Halloween. That's pretty cool. Do some chords. I'm not gonna go through every plugin. Let's do another one from the chords. Aviation support. Let's do one more. Actually, I'm gonna go to pads because I'm a sucker for pads. So let's see. We got soft pads, butter. Not bad, not bad. Let's do another one from the soft side. Let's do analog woods. Yeah, cut that volume back. Actually, let's cut back the main. Keep that open. Cut it back from here. Only because for me, I'm using headphones and I'm going directly into my headphone jack in my unit, and there's no adjustment tool for it, and it's very loud. All right, that's cool. Let's do pads bright. We got some trimmers. That's cool. All right, very bright sound. Let's go to plucks, analog mallets. I ain't gonna keep doing that. But yeah, I mean, I like the presets. They're not terrible by any means. Let's see, we'll do one more pluck. What I got? Let's do Tweety. Slow down. I could have put something together. All right, that's Tweety. That's not bad. So yeah, I mean, this is a very capable sounding synth. Let's go into the bass. Let's do bass thump. Bass 3. All right, let's not do techno. All right, that's thump bass. All the different thump basses, with the exception of maybe a couple. And then you go here, you have your 106 factory sound banks 1 and 2. So that's a cool bonus. The fact that they put, the factory sound banks from the original unit onto the software. I know I said the Juno 6 earlier, and like I said, if I messed up, you'll be all right. But yeah, it's cool that they put all of the different patches from the actual unit onto the software version. Yeah, man, I don't have any complaints about it. This is sounds good for what it is. And yeah, man, I think if you buy this with the unit, you won't be disappointed. Sheesh. Let's go down to the Juno June 6 from Arturia. Now, I will say these are going to sound different just on the premise that the programmers are different for each of these products. So, right out the gate, you see the similarities. You have your voice calibration. You can make it sound good, average, or poor. You could turn on your chorus noise just like you could on the other VST. You can turn the chord mode on. You can select the type of chords you're playing, which is pretty cool. Octave, minor, suspended, all that good jazz. And I think that will come in handy. And I'll show you one in a little bit. You have your arpeggiator. Again, you can set up the modes. Not quite as many options compared to the other one, but if you're using software, in my opinion, the arpeggio is really not needed, especially if you're using something like Reason or Ableton, where you can just load in different arpeggiations onto your software. Anyhow, you got your LFO. DCO is the same, square wave, pulse wave. You got your sub oscillator, sawtooth wave. You can add the noise. High pass filter and your standard filter and your adjustments. Again, you could turn both the the chorus 1 or 2 or both running in tandem. You can adjust the tune. I think that's cool. So if you want to get, a little bit more customization out of your sound, make it sound a little bit more older, if you will, you can do that between that and the voice calibration. Now going into the advanced mode, you get some more options that are not, a part of the Jura. So like, you know, a mini, what they call it, mod matrix, if you will, where you can assign the pitch wheel to impact different parameters of the software, if you will, your velocity, all that stuff. Aftertouch, you can change all of that depending on if you got aftertouch in your keyboards and all that good stuff. You can influence that. You have a second LFO, something that the Jura does not have in the waveforms that you can use. And again, you can take that second LFO and put it to different parts. So you get a little bit more flexibility with this unit. Again, your second envelope, again, you can have it influence different aspects of the plugin and so forth. Then you have your delay and you have your reverb. So yeah, that's the thing. The second envelope and how much control you have over your synth. You have more flexibility with this unit compared to the Jura. Also, you got your MIDI settings and things of that nature that you have more of an ability to adjust and customize. You can have up to 6 voices of unison. I don't think you get that many on the Jura. I'll go back and double check. Polyphony, you can get up to 36 voices of polyphony depending on your preset that you're using. So 36 voices of polyphony. So depending on your playing style, if you're someone that likes to really chase the keys, if you will, and kind of get more into that classical or jazz playing style, you can do that on this device a lot easier than you can on, the Jura, which only is going to give you, I think, 7, maybe 8 voices tops. Let me go back and double check the unison voices. So unison. So they really don't give you, they just say unison. You can detune it, record mode, but the amount of unison, they really don't specify how many voices you're getting. That's okay. All right, going back here to the June 6. All right, I'm gonna get out of that. Close that out. There we go. I might keep that open. So yeah, not too much different, but I'm going to pull that down because, again, that's loud for me. Let's open that back up. Oh, my word. Can I just open it? Thank you. Classic Road. So I can tell you with this unit, I'm hearing a little bit more, I don't know, it's more dynamic. But again, it's how it's programmed too. Like a lot of times when you're comparing presets between one unit from another, these companies have different sound designers that they utilize to program these patches and showcase the ability. So a lot of stuff that we complain about, or not complain about, stuff that we, clamor for, where we say, I like this patch because it sounds like this, or I want this synthesizer even. A lot of times it's boils down to the programmers. The Afterglow pad is nice. Now here's the caveat. Look at how much juice I'm using between, it jumped all the way up from 4% to 50%. And if you look on this side where I have the DSP unit, it was using a lot of resources. Now, for granted, you know, I'm recording at the same time, and I do need to update my hard drive and all that good jazz, and probably my RAM too at some point. I just need to get off the lazy horse and do it. But just here to show you, and I'm running on 16 gigs of RAM, and it's eating that up. Now that's the filter sweep arpeggiation. Let's do, oh, we got drums. Don't do me like that. It is doing me like that. It won't go to perk sound too. Why not? So let's get out of the drums because I'm not moved. I'm not impressed by the drums. But if you want a kick drum, there it is. A basic synth kick drum, there it is. But kick drums are not that hard to make. You could do that in pretty much any hardware or software unit. I got some videos showing you how to do that. All right, let's go to keys. Let's go to xylophone. Turn on that delay. I don't really like the xylophone. It's not bad sounding. It's just not my cup of tea. Let's go to the pads. Candied maple. All right, that's enough of that. If I had the camera zoomed in on my face, you would see me making the most ridiculous faces because in my head, I'm like, oh, I can hear all these parts moving. Like I can hear a song playing. Of course, you can't. You just hear chords. And so this might be, in fact, very boring. All right. Yeah. All right. Let's get out of Candy Maple. Celestial Homeland. I felt like that was a Nintendo game. All right, let me stop. Again, I felt like that's a video game. Or it could be featured on a video game. All right, that's enough. Yeah, I mean, I'm really enjoying playing these VSTs. And they both sound good. The Juno sounds a little bit different. I can't put my finger on what. I don't know if it sounds a little bit warmer, sounds a little bit more filtered. And I don't know if that's because of the presets or just, yeah, it's probably the presets. That's why. That one in particular had some cutoff on the high frequencies to contribute to that sound. Yeah. In terms of which one is better, I mean, I don't have an opinion. Get the one that makes you the happiest and the one that your pocketbook agrees with. So from that standpoint, the Juno 6 from Arturia, the June 6, pardon me, you can get it individually, like 150. Sometimes they have sales where you can get them individually cheaper, but generally speaking, it's about 150. But you can get it as part of the package deal with the Arturia synth collection, and you get this and a whole bunch of other synths for a lot cheaper. And Arturia is kind of like the standard when it comes to software emulation at this point. Like, there are no samples in this machine, so they have tried to capture the feel of using a Juno without actually having Juno samples run through this machine, which is really cool. So if you don't have a real Juno, or pardon me, yeah, if you don't have a real Juno and you don't necessarily want to hash out the thousands of dollars to buy a Juno, you can just get this and it'll put you in the ballpark. Again, I don't know how well it compares to a real Juno because I haven't played one since 2018, and yeah, my memory is not that particular when it comes to the sounds. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie and say the old Juno, it sounded way like, I can't remember, to be honest. I just remember playing it and having a good time and running it through guitar pedals. That's what I did with it. So yeah, there's that. But it's about $150 individual. But if you get the collection and they have their sales throughout the year, Arturia, you get the collection. You get this with a bunch of other synths that are also in some cases modeled, in some cases sampled, and you won't be disappointed. But the price point is a little higher. There's a couple features, like you get the extra LFO that you don't get with the AirTech model. So you get this extra LFO that you can program out to different parts of the synth. There's a little bit more flexibility. You have more voices of polyphony. So again, if you're someone that likes to go crazy on the keys and chase the keys, if you will, this one may be better suited for you for that reason. On the other hand, if you saw me as you paid attention to the demonstration, I used I'm already I'm at 55 just doing that big giant chord. So, that's the other side of that. This device can be resource intensive. So that's just something to keep in mind. You can make adjustments and things of that nature. But, again, it is going to be more resource intensive. But it's a good product. It sounds great. And yeah, I don't really have any complaints. I wish this would stop doing that. I apologize for those of you who are watching and have to deal with that. Now, the Jura from Air Music Technology is also a good plugin, and for right now you can get it on sale for about $80. And I would say this sounds good too. Like, you're gonna get pretty much the main features of the Juno 106 with this plugin. And again, how much does it sound like the original? Who cares? How much is it gonna sound like the Arturia version or better? It's a waste of time, in my opinion. There are some differences in the texture in terms of the sounds, but that could also be just a consequence of how this was programmed in terms of the patches. It may sound a little bit different depending on how you program it. I'd imagine you get very close. You don't get as much polyphony. So if that's a thing, then you might not want to do this one. You don't get as much flexibility. So you don't get that second LFO. If you're somebody who needs that LFO to do more programming, then go with Arturia. But you can get this one and, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. That's less you have to worry about when you're programming. You don't get the matrix and all that stuff with this. Everything is laid out in front of you. So you have more limitations, but it kind of puts everything in a more straightforward manner. You get more arpeggiation features, up, down, up and down, up, down, repeat, all that good jazz. So if you're using this in standalone, like in the standalone units, and you want to have that flexibility with the arpeggiation as opposed to, the software version, or you just prefer the standalone version, go for it. You got to remember this is an option for you to purchase as part of the the MPC workflow. And yeah, in that respect, it's amazing because you can, the MPC, in my opinion, is becoming a great workstation. I'm going to say it like that. The MPC is becoming a great workstation. It was already a good sampler, especially for this generation, but it is very much becoming a great workstation where now you have all of these different plugins that you can put into your sound and, say what you want to about the units and all that good jazz. I'll hash that out in another video, but yeah, man, this is a welcome addition in my opinion. Either or, you won't be disappointed. And for $80, I would say, pick it up, try the demo out, see how you like it for yourself. And the fact that you can have this in your MPC unit, or you can put it in your, I'm using it as a VST in Reason. I'm not even using my MPC software. The fact that you can do that, it just gives you another layer of flexibility. So that's all I got for today. Thank you for watching this video. If you have watched this whole video, I appreciate you. Tune back next time. I'll have some more videos posted pretty soon. Peace.